So here's my home compost, my first hot compost, probably about 12 to 1400 wide, 1200 high, and a metre to 1200 deep. You need a volume of about a cubic metre at least, apparently, just to keep it hot enough. This is now 2 or 3 weeks old. I put it together with a combination of 3 straw bales, which I'll show you in a minute, some manure from the local garden supply place. It was fairly dried cow manure, fairly finely divided up, and lots of green waste, a third of each, plus what I had of 2/3 of a compost bin that had been running for a while, and that acted as it turns out, as excellent seeder for it. The green waste was probably the hardest to get. I'm collecting for ages. I do have the luxury of a home mulcher here, just an electric one, so it takes you hours to do a heap, and you end up with not much, but it produces stuff like this here, which is just mulched up green stuff. I mulched every bit of cuttings and things that I had here, and weeds and parsley and stuff that I was pulling out. But I also begged and borrowed green waste from neighbours. So I got a couple of barrow loads of grass clippings from one, and their whole green waste bin full of weeding and things from another, to get enough to build this heap. This heap has been turned. So when I made it, within 2 days, it started to get very noticeably hot. If you stuck your hand in it, it was sort of steaming and almost uncomfortably hot. I didn't know enough about the temperatures and how it was actually getting, so I ended up buying a thermometer, waited eagerly for a week to come on from eBay, and it turned out that I was sitting beautifully on between the green and the red mark there of active to hot, and that was about 55-60. After we had several nights of 6 hours of continuous rain, and I had the heap uncovered, and we had 8-degree nights, and lots and lots of rainy days. It kept its heat up for about a week, but then it eventually started to cool down and went down to 45 or something. So I thought, I've got to face it and turn it. It probably needs the air in it anyway. So last weekend I pulled the whole thing out and stirring it as I did, rearranging it, and put it all back in, well aerated. It had shrunk some, so it's come up again. It went down to the ambient temperature of the day, about 20 degrees, and since then it's been going up about 4 or 5 degrees a day. So as I said, that was 3 days ago, and you can possibly see there the inner range, it's 40 degrees now. So I've picked up 20 degrees in 4 days, I think. So hopefully it will get up to 60-65. I'll just take you around and show you the hay, the straw that I used. I actually ordered some extra bales. So it was 3 bales like this. I got them from Pete the Permie up the hills, but I don't know how readily they're available in the city. But you do need a mass of dry carbon material like that to equal the green wet stuff that you put in. I put a lot of attention in building it. I've layered it layer upon layer, for those that are old enough to remember the ad. So I probably did 50 layers of just spreading out straw, spreading the green material on it, spreading manure on it, and a shovel or so of the other compost, and just spreading layer upon layer. Really happy with this compost heap. It's climbing back up to hot temperature, and I'm hoping it'll be ready in 2 months for when I'm going to plant my little mini orchard here. Thanks for listening. Cheers. And I've got some photos of the thing in progress that I'll try and find a way of attaching to this or spreading with it. Thanks. Sorry, forgot to add one thing. It is covered now, but for those first few weeks I didn't have it covered. I just decided I don't want any more rain into it. It's wet enough as it is, and I don't want it to cool down anymore.